The Man Without Fear, Power Woman, Power Man, and The Living Weapon, together at last. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 Defenders facts.
Defenders?
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're taking a look at interesting trivia regarding the small screen crossover event Marvel and Netflix have been building towards, known as The Defenders, and set to be released in August 2017.
The war for New York is here.
Number 10. The initial Defenders in the comics were different.
You have interrupted a citywide investigation.
Fans of Marvel and Netflix's previous collaborations already know that this miniseries assembles Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. In the comics, however, none of these characters were part of the original Defenders. The initial leader was actually Doctor Strange, who received backup from the Incredible Hulk, both of which have been featured in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Rounding out the classic Defenders lineup was co-founder Namor the Submariner and the Silver Surfer, both of whom, as of 2017, are MIA in the MCU.
All that you know is at an end.
Since this franchise could potentially last forever though, we shouldn't be surprised if they drop by eventually.
The more connections you have, the easier it will be to break you.
Number 9. The Defenders have had a rotating roster.
Defenders, move out!
Many superhero teams maintain the same lineup from the beginning to end. Defenders membership, meanwhile, tends to fluctuate. Between 1972 and 1986, the roster underwent multiple variations. While Doctor Strange and the Hulk were usually around, other members would come and go over time. The most heavily featured players included the likes of Nighthawk, Valkyrie, Son of Satan, Hellcat, Gargoyle, Beast, and Luke Cage.
That's just great.
Numerous other familiar faces also dropped by, although some of them only lasted one mission. This makes sense since the Defenders don't exactly have a set of guidelines. Perhaps that's why they're often described as a non-team.
We make quite a team.
No.
Number 8. The Defenders have gone through different phases.
Bulletproof. Blind ninja. Whatever it is you are.
Classy.
Given the loose criteria to become a member, it's not surprising that the Defenders have gone through a few phases. After the initial series shifted into the New Defenders and wrapped up in 1986, Marvel offered a new format with Secret Defenders. Running from 1993 to 1995, it primarily revolved around Doctor Strange and the various teams he recruited. In the early 2000s, the classic Defenders reunited for a brief run, and got together once again for a 2005 miniseries where they went up against Dormammu and Umar. Marvel introduced yet another Defenders series in 2011, which essentially ends with Doctor Strange hitting the reset button.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Number 7. The Defenders were originally more supernatural. Given the original roster, the Defenders tended to lean more towards the supernatural and mystical side, with characters like Doctor Strange and the Hulk taking center stage. Likewise, their rogues gallery largely consisted of gods, aliens, and other otherworldly beings. While shows like Daredevil and Jessica Jones obviously have a supernatural element as well, they also possess a gritty, grounded sense of realism, reminiscent of a classic film noir as opposed to conventional superhero fare. Because of this, the Netflix adaptation should feel less like a battle for the universe and more like a street fight. An awesome street fight.
What's the deal with that fist?
Number 6. Jessica Jones wasn't a Defender in the comics.
You turn that thing on, I'll pull your underwear through your eye.
At one point or another, Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage have all been Defenders in Marvel's shared comic book universe. However, Jessica Jones was never affiliated with the non-team, making her the only character in the miniseries that doesn't have a connection to the original source material.
It's the only way I get through my goddamn days after what you did to me.
Then again, it's not like this is the only liberty Netflix and Marvel have taken here. They're clearly aiming to re-establish the Defenders brand, a brand in sync with Jessica's. Plus, if we're going to get technical, Jessica Jones is a major player in the 2017 Defenders comic series, bringing things full circle.
Whatever you think I did to hurt you, I'm sorry.
Number 5. There will be other familiar faces. Actors Charlie Cox, Kristen Ritter, Mike Coulter, and Finn Jones will all reprise their roles from their standalone shows, but they aren't the only familiar faces integral to the Defenders. Elektra and Stick are both set to appear, as are Murdoch's associates Karen Page and Foggy Nelson. Jessica Jones has best friend Trish and neighbor Malcolm in her corner. Luke Cage has Misty Knight, while Colleen Wing supports Danny Rand. The list goes on with lawyer Jerry Hogarth and night nurse Claire Temple on board as well. We also just might see the Punisher pop up, along with a cameo from some guy named... Wait, who the hell is Stan Lee?
Are you Tony Stank?
Number 4. The beginning of Heroes for Hire.
Who are you?
The Defenders aren't the only group Luke Cage and Danny Rand are associated with. In the comics, Power Man and Iron Fist formed Heroes for Hire, and while both characters have starred in their own Netflix originals, this miniseries will be what brings the two hard-hitting heroes together. Prior to its release, Luke Cage actor Mike Colter revealed that the show would pay homage to Heroes for Hire, but with a few timely twists. Luke and Danny don't entirely see eye to eye at first, but eventually settle into a mentor-mentee relationship as Cage takes the youngest Defender under his unbreakable wing, with Claire Temple stuck in the middle.
Oh, you probably don't remember me, do you?
Number 3. Sigourney Weaver plays the villain. Marvel and Netflix have given us some pretty chilling villains over the past couple of years, from Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk to David Tennant's Kilgrave. In The Defenders, Sigourney Weaver stars as the big baddie, Alexandra. Major details about the character have been clouded in mystery, but all you really need to know for now is that she's one of the most powerful figures in New York City. Series showrunner Marco Ramirez described Alexandra as an utter badass and the smartest person in the room. If anybody can give 4 heroes a run for their money, it's Ellen Ripley herself.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Number 2. The Defenders will connect to the MCU. Throughout the previous 4 Netflix Marvel endeavors, the heroes have typically gone up against street-level criminals, making it easy to forget that these characters are part of the MCU.
Now you're just pissing me off.
Compared to Iron Man and Thor, Daredevil and Luke Cage's storylines have been smaller in scale, showing a different side to the MCU. While the Defenders does tie into the ever-expanding franchise, fans can't help but wonder if they'll ever meet the Avengers, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or Guardians of the Galaxy.
We're the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Marvel's TV head, Jeff Loeb, hasn't shot down the possibility of an even bigger crossover, although he has stated that they will have to earn it.
I'm the immortal Iron Fist.
You what?
Number 1. It's the end of Phase 1. 2012's The Avengers might have acted as the grand finale for the MCU's first phase, but in retrospect, it was really only the beginning. The same can be said about The Defenders, which marks the end of Marvel and Netflix's first phase on the small screen. There will still be plenty to stream in the future though, with a 3rd Daredevil season, 2nd Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, and a Punisher series all in the post-Defenders pipeline.
I think I'm done.
As for which Marvel character will get the Netflix treatment next, it could be just about anybody. Well, anybody who's not in the X-Men or Fantastic Four.
It's clobbering time!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.